Looking at gold here, so it's been absolutely flying through the roof this month. It's already at 1980, approaching 2 grand. It almost hit it on Friday and then sold off. But I do think that it might I think it's gonna have a pullback. You can see there's a zone here, very significant, and again, being right at 2 grand, that is a round psychological number. So we'll actually put that in here because that's super important. 2000, just see exactly where it is. So yeah, a little bit above here, so we're not quite at it yet. It's really like the 1980 that really seems to be holding this. And then yeah, with Friday's big sell-off, and granted it's just moved so much, like it moved $90 last week, and on the month it's already moved 187. It usually moves 120, so you can just see on this monthly time frame as well. I mean, very, very significant zone. But I think it will break this zone. I just think that it's going to have a pullback first. And so let's break this down and let's just see kind of what we could expect. So I mean, on this week, or this month really, just this massive pull up. So I want it to pull back. Like I want it to, this is a significant area, this 618. 50% zone. You can see price respected it here. Hopefully it comes back down, retests, and then shoots back upwards if it decides it wants to keep going up, which I think it will. I mean, it's just so much momentum. But this is a heavy zone. This is a zone that's been really respected. And then if you throw it, like if you look back at the monthly time frame, I mean, it's hasn't been above this. Like this is even 2020 here, COVID, all that. Price broke above it on the month, sold off, broke above it, sold off, couple months here, sold off. So like it's pretty significant. So, and granted it's already moved $186 this month, and it usually moves 120. So it's quite a bit overextended on the month already. It's like probably 50% overextended on the month. So I mean, it's possible, but it's just it's high expectations for this. So I'm expecting a pullback, and then maybe this to finish off the month. I mean, the month might it might sell off and then hit this area, and then this will be kind of a next month play. I could see that happening. This is just but I mean, if it breaks above the zone next week and then holds above it, like it might keep going. So like gold is one of those things that because it's really popular for a lot of reasons, for trading, for investing, for any sort of uncertain economic times. I mean, it's the best conductor we have, so it's a useful commodity. It's one of those things that a lot of people know about and a lot of people want. So with this kind of momentum, I mean, if it cracks the zone, it could keep going. But I just looking at the the technicals here, this is a pretty significant zone. It already sold off on Friday, so I mean, with all this momentum going into this zone, you would think that it would have broken it already, but hasn't. Friday was a heavy sell-off, so we'll just kind of see what Monday produces candle-wise here in this area. But yeah, I'd be looking for a pullback here. You would just have to wait for, I mean, like this is heavy bullish recently. So as far as taking a sell, I mean, I also wouldn't do that. This might be one of those things that you just kind of stay flat on for a little bit, just because it is so overextended. I mean, the idea that it's going to keep moving up this month, I mean, it's already $60 over on the month, and there's still almost 10 days left. So it's just kind of, it's expecting a lot out of it, but I mean, it's possible. But as far as like upside potential as of right now, I mean, even if it broke this area, let's say Monday it breaks this area, I mean, where is it really heading to finish the week? Maybe like 2020, 2030, like, because there's a lot of resistance in this area as well. So I just like, it really needs to pull back and then get that support from this area, right? Like get more buyers in. There's going to be more buyers down here than there is up here, smart ones anyway. So that's kind of what it's most likely going to have to do. I mean, but if the momentum's there, I mean, it could break the zone and keep going for a bit. But then obviously, upon breaking, I think 2050 is the all-time high. Breaking this area up here, like then, I mean, we're flying, because there's no upside resistance that we know of yet. So as far as like possible trade setups, I mean, a couple things. So like if there's enough bear momentum, like if you got a nice bearish engulfing 4-hour candle that took out all of these, so something like this, you know, if it opened and it took out all these wicks here, then might be good to enter a short position there. I would probably wait for some sort of break and retest of this area, so we'll get rid of this for a sec here. Personally, what I would do if I was going to short this, which I probably wouldn't because it's just heavy bull momentum, kind of asking for trouble, but because even if this sells off, let's say this sells off for the rest of the month, it might not make it down to the 50% 618. If the trend is really strong, I mean, it might hold at 1952, it might even hold at 1925. Usually with strong trends, you know, the 38.2 mark here is usually where price would go to. So I don't even I expect this to pull back, but I don't even know if it'll pull back this much. I don't know if it'll pull back to full 1900, you know, or 1881 down here. It's just if the trend is too strong, which, I mean, it looks pretty strong. If that wants to continue at all, it's not going to pull back that far. But if I was to short this, I would wait for something like this. So like your bearish engulfing candle takes out all these wicks, and then some sort of like little bit of a pullback here, and then like this, and then I would probably just target 1925. I mean, as far as the week, a normal weekly range for this is about $50 still, you know, 50, $55. So if this is kind of the trade setup you're looking at for next week, if you wanted to potentially short this, I mean, this is your range, right? Like that's $52. This is actually a perfect trade if you get a couple things. If you want to counter trend trade, and if you you know, want to, so yeah, counter trend trade, and then if you want to just kind of sell it down before it you know, before the buys come back, because I do think this is just going to keep going up for a while. But if you're looking to counter trend trade and sell this pullback, this would kind of be your entry, something like this, and you would want to just target the weekly potential, which is about $50, $55. So this would put you at 52, so that's within the weekly range, you know, keeping your stop above this. And then yeah, I wouldn't, so not only is this within the weekly range, it's the 38.2 retracement of this bull segment. So this is probably your most probable, you know, possibility trade with like your risk to reward. I mean, this zone will kind of protect you, like, but you don't really have any sort of, yeah, I mean, like, this is best bet scenario if you're going to short this, and I don't think it's good. Like, you know, price, it's just way above these moving averages. You don't really have any safety nets. You have this zone that you're relying on, and that's it, which, I mean, it's a significant zone, but given the bull momentum into this area, I mean, it's just not really enough for me to personally take this trade. But this, so I wouldn't really say there's a good trade on gold as far as next week. I mean, I guess if you wanted to buy it, if you want to just buy and pray, but like I said, it's about 50% overextended on the month already, so you're kind of just asking for a lot out of it. So my expectations for gold, given Friday's sell-off at this area, you know, without any sort of bearish confirmation or anything, just basically playing a guessing game based on, you know, liquidity zones and ranges, I would say it's going to sell off next week, and you know, maybe hit 1950 or 1925, depending. I mean, there's this actually a pretty significant area right here I can see. So it's yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. I think it's going to pull back next week. How much, I don't know. And then you'd probably just be looking, your best bet as far as trade setups would be looking for a buy, you know, upon pulling back, and then just retargeting this area, and then potentially higher if the bull momentum is there for you. So that is my take on gold. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.